really nice meeting the DW team, and I must express my appreciation on behalf of the press people down there. You guys always, project our voices every now and then.
Is it?
Yeah, sometimes when I might not respond in time, but we really appreciate it. We feel like our voices are not many times. When we can do that, our voices Yeah. Yeah, I'm on bail for so many offenses. I was charged in prison. I'm out on bail, although it is now 3 years. I've not been to court. I'm out on bail for annoying the president. That's I was charged with that. I'm out on bail for inciting violence. Out on bail for flaunting COVID regulations. Many times I was arrested during the campaign, and bail.
But they allowed you to travel, and they gave you back your passport.
Yeah, they never took my passport.
Oh, they never took your passport.
Yeah, they never took my passport.
I think that's something a lot of people would actually want to know, because for people like a friend that says his passport was taken.
Yeah,
so we can actually start.
sure.
So which background?
It's fine. You go ahead. This is live. I just played by the air.
Oh.
You're live already.
You're live already.
You're live already.
Yeah, live DWTV. Big up yourself. See?
Let's make sure.
I just tried to show you. Do I see anything? No.
I see.
I don't see the light. Yeah, it is. I
It's
think
recording.
the number
Yeah,
is
yeah, it is.
Okay.
I think this background.
We're live already. So, hello Africa, and welcome to this live chat on DW Africa. Today, guess who we caught up with? Mr. Bobi Wine himself, all the way from Uganda. He is here in Bonn, Germany, the heart of Africa. Sorry, the heart of Europe.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're coming from the heart of Africa. Welcome
The
to
power
Germany.
of Africa.
The power of Africa. Welcome to Germany.
Thank you very much for having me. And greetings Uganda, greetings Africa, greetings Europe, greetings the world.
So why exactly are you in Germany?
Well, I'm here to be part of the Global Media Forum, and I'm going to be part of a panel, and it's an honor for me, and of course an opportunity again for us to, highlight the plight of the people of Uganda and many other people of the world who share the same plight.
And what panel are you going to be on? What are you going to be discussing today?
Well, we're going to be discussing the role and influence of the arts and music in change and, largely as a subject.
You have been arrested countless times in Uganda, and many people wonder how you are able to travel. You are on bail, they take your passport. How are you able to travel around the world?
Well, my passport was not taken when I was arrested. Whenever I'm arrested, I'm not with my passport. They take what I have, they take my phone and everything. But I know that it's my passport that always after. And because they know that they arrest me on bogus charges, they don't ask for my passport because they know I will not give it to them anyway. So I still have my passport, and that's how I'm able to be here.
You are President Museveni's probably #1 enemy. I mean, you've criticized him as a president, and you criticize everybody at the top level. How do you navigate between being a popular opposition and staying alive? Because people that criticize the president always actually, maybe they are arrested or
in
sentenced
jail
to
or dead.
Death
Yeah.
sentence.
First of all, I want to correct you. I'm not General Museveni's enemy. General Museveni is his own enemy. You know, he is in a self-destruct mode. Like all dictators in history, the likes of Mussolini, the likes of Idi Amin, the likes of Mobutu Sese Seko, they are their own enemy. I'm not General Museveni's enemy. I was only 4 years when he took power. I'm now 40, and you know, he keeps repeating the same mistakes. So he's his own enemy. How do I stay alive? By the grace of God and by the grace of the ancestors, that I'm still alive. But most importantly, I know that General Museveni is a smart dictator. He will do everything, but he knows maybe killing me would be the last straw that will have him and his goons out permanently. So he wants to weaken me, discredit me, and discredit the idea of change, the idea that I represent.
Recently, you had a squabble with Museveni's son on Twitter when he called you his brother. How did that end, and how did you feel when he called you his brother?
General Museveni's son, like his father, has a sense, an exaggerated sense of self-importance. He believes he's one of us. He confidently says Uganda is his inheritance. He believes Uganda is his father's property. He, you know, abducts people, tortures them, orders the rape of women, orders the castration of people, orders the murder of people. Recently, he personally tortured a popular novelist, Kapunsa, Ruchirabaseja, cut him in the back and tortured him gravely. So, a person like that cannot claim that have a relationship with him. So, and he believes that people fear him. Of course, I don't want to address him because I don't want to give him importance, but it was important for him to know that I am not scared of him, just like I'm not scared of his tyrant father. I'm not scared of him, and I'll tell him the truth, of course, with respect. So, you know, it's not a squabble per se. It is speaking truth to the so-called power.
Do you think he has a presidential ambition, though?
General Museveni and his son, in fact, General Museveni's son has a monarchical ambition. He believes he's a crown prince, and he believes Uganda is his father's property to inherit. And as a matter of fact, that time when I responded to his tweet, he was, you know, referring to Uganda as an inheritance. And I told him he has every right to inherit his father's property, and I'm not out to compete for his father's inheritance. He can inherit his father's cows, his father's shoes, and even his hat. But Uganda is for Ugandans, and the power belongs to the people of Uganda to choose their next leader. So it is not about me or him. We are 43 million people in Uganda. We are all equal. We all have an equal stake in the country. It should not be about me. I know there are so many people out there that are equally talented, or even more talented and more qualified to lead this our country. We should give them the feeling that they qualify, and indeed they are as entitled as everybody else. Yeah.
Now, several journalists are being killed for doing their job. How did it come to such low bar in the Uganda?
Well, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts, absolutely. You know, General Museveni was a prize revolutionary when he was my age. He came promising respect for human rights, promising democracy, promising a free press and all that. Unfortunately, today, anybody that dares to say truth to General Museveni is punished in the most cruel manner. Speaking the truth is treasonous in Uganda. We've lost so many journalists. You know, some have been permanently injured. Many have had to run out of the country because of the oppression. So, I mean, that's the case in Uganda today. Journalists are threatened and all that. But that's one of the many characteristics of a dictatorship. And that goes further to show the situation in Uganda. Yeah.
Now, do you see double standards by foreign governments that on one hand they still support President Museveni and on the other decrying his gross human rights violations?
I think in relation to the international community, double standards would be an understatement. I would say I see hypocrisy. I see hypocrisy. These are democracies. I mean, when we're referring to the developed countries, we don't call them countries, we call them democracies. But these are countries that are responsible for propping up dictatorships like General Museveni's. Of course, the so-called election that just happened in 2021, the European Union election observers were blocked from observing the election. And they issued a statement, and so did the United States. But we are yet to see them, follow up their critical statements with firm actions. It is, and I wish I had a more decent word to use, but it seems like to the people of Uganda, they appear to be partners in crime. They can no longer claim not to see what happens in Uganda. We should, if we are talking about human rights, which we are lectured so much about in the West, the values that bring us together as the international community. We are part of the international community. We are human beings too. So if it's human rights, let the people of Uganda and the people of Africa also be seen as human beings. Let us have the same standard of human beings. If what General Museveni is doing in Uganda is done by any leader in Europe, that leader will not be a leader for the next month. Of course, we criticize in the strongest terms possible the oppression and the attack on the people of Ukraine by Russia. But this is what has been going on in Uganda for 36 years. Unfortunately, the West continues to pour money in terms of aid to a dictator like Museveni and many other dictators. We have constantly raised our voices to the international community, to the West. We tell them that, make democracy, the rule of law and respect for human rights a precondition for aid. Otherwise, if you continue to have a collaboration, to be in business with a known tyrant, with a known dictator, relating with them as if they are legitimate leaders, then you're partners in crime. And that's not what we want to see these democracies as. We want to be on the same standard of democracy, on the same standard of human rights. And then we will develop together. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't just be assistance, it should be collaboration. It shouldn't just be aid. So I continue to, and I hope I'm not sounding offensive, but I continue to bring my plea to the international community. Please stop sponsoring our oppression. Stop sponsoring state-sponsored terror in Uganda and in Africa. Be held by the values of human rights that bring us together as the international community, because we are all human beings. We want to all celebrate human rights. We want all to celebrate democracy. Our dream is to be called a democracy. And if that happens, we will all be happy and we'll be prosperous. We don't want to see refugees coming from Africa inconveniencing Europe. But those refugees keep flowing because of the misgovernance at home, because of the warmongering dictators at home. And these dictators are tolerated. They should not be tolerated in the West. That's my request.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope your request is being heard well, Bobi. Why now young people look up to you because they see you as someone that can liberate them. Do you see yourself as that?
No, I am not going to liberate anybody. I'm only playing my role and inspiring them to equally play their role. I'm an artist. Okay, I'm an artist, and I know what I am doing. A doctor can do, a farmer can do, a tax driver can do, anybody can do. It's just a matter of knowing your rights and standing firm on your rights. So I don't want anybody to look at me as their liberator. I just want them to look at me as an inspiration so they can do the same. I don't believe in this big man syndrome. I believe in strong institutions that can hold us accountable, including myself. General Museveni is holding us hostage because every time we want change, he says, "Oh, I liberated you." So I'm not liberating anybody. I want us to liberate ourselves all together so that at the end of the day, no single citizen will lay a claim on that liberation. It will be for the people and it will be owned by the people. Yeah.
And what does the future hold for Uganda? Where do you see Uganda perhaps in 5 years to come?
I don't want to look at 5 years. I want to look at tomorrow. I know
Okay,
Uganda will be
tomorrow.
free. I know Uganda will be free. I know even this country, Germany, where we are, has ever been ruled by a dictator. You know, in the days of Adolf Hitler, you would never imagine Germany will be what it is today. So, looking in the future, which might be tomorrow, next week, next year, or anytime, we will be like Germany. But the sooner, the better. We want our freedom and we want it now. Yeah.
Now we have a lot of Ugandans watching us right now and a lot of Africans. What advice or last word do you have for them as we conclude this interview? Bobi himself. And I'm not going to let you go before you sing something for me, okay?
Oh man, oh man. Yeah, I'll tell Ugandans, I'll tell Africans and all oppressed people across the world that freedom does not come to those who cry. Freedom comes to those who fight for it. So, because the more you cry, is the more your people continue to die. But when you stand firm, you'll get your freedom. So believe in yourself. Don't give up. You know, think positive. Let your situation today not determine you. Where you are is not who you are. No, we are only first world minds stuck in third world countries. In fact, they are not third world countries. We only have third world leaders. You know, we are the youngest population in the world. That's supposed to be an opportunity. That's supposed to be a resource. Don't give up on yourself. Okay? Don't believe in me. Believe in you. And if we all believe in ourselves and keep our eyes on the prize, we'll get there. And we'll get there sooner than we believe, sooner than we think. So let's keep going. Don't give up. Don't allow the dictatorships to determine you. No, you're much greater than what you've been told you are. Let's keep fighting for our rights. We will get our rights.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Bobi,
very
for
much.
joining us. But like I said, you will not go before you say something or sing something for
We
us.
have more also.
Yeah.
We'll listen to you soon. Yeah.
Just a minute.
All right, listen. Our people complaining night and day. They wonder why we continue to live this way. But I know these things will change someday. If we really want it to change anyway, Africa is a land of abundance, but the Africans living in deficiency. The leaders want like presidency. We must abandon that silly tendency. Remember that Bobi Wine says so.
Thank you, Bobi. But
Mr. Bobi Wine himself, over in Uganda, is here in Germany, in Bonn.
Now it is
The
me.
Global Media Forum. My name is Joyce Mahachi. Until next time.
Swahili yangu
cheers.
siwezi kuzungumza.
ndio hiyo.